Reliable sources on board the orbiting Philadelphia have confirmed that GDI scientists working on biological weapons intended for innocent civilians released a deadly virus into the... Well, this is a surprise.
Please, continue.
Head of GDI forces, General Solomon, is said to have become mentally unstable.
In other news, General Hassan's weak and impotent rule was overthrown today, when forces within the Brotherhood rose up to unite Nod under a new leader. Anton Slavic, rescued from death by the spirit hand of Cain, has been vindicated of all crimes against the state. He steps forward now to lead us. Follow him as you would follow Cain.
It's time to finish Hassan.
Cairo, build and protect your base, then take the would-be pharaoh. We have become aware of an imprisoned commander in this region who was loyal to Hassan. Free him and his forces, and they should be sympathetic to our cause and help in the capture of Hassan. The commander may have information vital to your movement. Establishing battlefield control. Stand by.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play CNC Tiberian Son. Now, in case you haven't noticed, traitors in the Brotherhood get shot. Cause, as the game so insists on driving home. So, anyway, it's finally time we made our move on Hassan, and I don't think we can assault that base with a frontal attack. So, let's just turn around and go back the way we came. So, here we save this GDI pilot, who has landed in an Orca bomber. Why he's here, I don't know. It makes no sense, but for saving him, he clears out this Tic Tac and I'll pop. So one thing that's kind of important to note is that our light vehicles aren't able to crush sandbag walls, but luckily we have these new attack cycles here, which are pretty much to rocket infantry what attack buggies are to regular light infantry. They are the single fastest unit in the game, but also extremely fragile, and they're pretty useful for anti-air defense. Beyond that, it's pretty much just scouting and nothing else. They're kinda useless, especially since scouting can be done by the attack buggy. So here we have a small outpost of the enemy, which is almost undefended. Taking out these cargo trucks will allow us to access reinforcements. Presumably they were prisoner transports or something. A bug here, when we spawn 3 engineers, they all spawn on top of each other. It kinda bugs out, so anyway, what I think is supposed to happen is you get the 3 engineers and then you capture the filled up Tiberium silos as well as the Hand of Nod, so you can build up your forces. But of course we instead just capture the refinery alongside with the harvester, and this actually allows us access to a virtually limitless amount of Tiberium. It's not actually unlimited, but it's more than enough to get through this mission. The enemy base isn't that heavily defended.
Unit ready.
Sir.
Unit ready.
Especially since, of course, as we all know, Nod bases always have a critical weak point in the defenses. So right here is this broken bridge that leads straight into the back of the enemy base. Once we repair it, we can just march on in. Also, in case you were wondering why I used my engineer to take over the power plant and the outpost, that is because as I mentioned in some earlier episode, whenever you go on low power, all your construction takes twice as long. So taking over the power plant just kind of speeds it up a bit.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Yeah, so down here we have the prison area with the commander we're supposed to rescue. He has like 5 guys with him, like maybe 10. Was it really worth it to go on this mission just to bust out like 10 guys? Hey, come on. We probably lost more in this assault than we gained. And yeah, busting him out of this prison is the trigger for the AI to start spamming a bunch of units out of its construction buildings, and so it's worth our while to take them out, make sure we're not overrun. And other than that, we pretty much just have to get the commander unit back to our starting location. What I think is supposed to happen is you take out the power plants and that turns off the laser turrets and you can just march out through the front gate. But my personal theory on that is actually that they changed that in a patch or during development, I don't really know. So it kind of breaks all these missions. Anyway, I captured a bit of the enemy base there just for the hell of it, and once we get the commander into the harbor...
Mission accomplished. The infidel Hassan has been tracked to this region of Cairo. Build a base and remove the usurper. Establishing battlefield control. Stand by.
Stand and identify yourself in the name of Cain. Sound the alarm! Slavic's forces are here!
So, here we get pulled over at the first checkpoint and our whole surprise attack kind of falls flat. Although, even though those guys say sound the alarm, they don't actually sound any alarm, as you will see in a bit. For right now, our goal is to get across the bridge and taking out these light towers just for the hell of it, really. They don't serve any purpose or anything. So, anyway, as I was saying, we have to, by the way, nice typo on the message on the top left there. If you go back, it said Cabal with 2 A's. So, as soon as we take these guys out, we'll get our MCV. And it's actually important to prevent this engineer from repairing that broken bridge, because across that bridge is the enemy's main base. And if you allow him to get it, he will, the enemy base will start spawning units and sending them to attack you. So that just kind of saves us a bit of trouble.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Waiting order.
Since we have a couple engineers, I'm not going to destroy the Hand of Nod or the power plants, because I want to capture them. Strictly speaking, it's not worth it to capture power plants, because an engineer is worth 500 credits, whereas a power plant is only 300. So you actually lose money if you capture it. But I just do it anyway, simply because Whenever I play this mission, I like to get them so I can make a pretty base. And yeah, pretty much, getting those power plants over there just kind of helps with that, since they have all those sandbags around them. And I mean, isn't that really what this game's all about? Just building pretty bases.
Unit ready.
So yeah, they even give us that crate over there. It contains a bunch of money, so it's not really that big of a deal that we wasted like 500 or like 400 credits on capturing the power plants. Now the enemy has a second outpost over to the west side of the map, and it'll send these small amounts of units at us. And they also do it even if you didn't alert the main base, so they're pretty much, yeah, here it is. We kind of want to take it out before we make our move on the main base. I like to send some engineers in there to capture it, like take over the refinery and stuff, and it's also actually a bit faster than just destroying it with the rocket troopers and attack cycles, since they can take a while. And unfortunately, the pathfinding for our buggies insists on sending them straight past that laser turret.
Unit lost. Infantry reporting. Insufficient funds.
That's pretty much the only time laser turrets are ever going to be a friend of the AI is really retarded and just straight up dries up to them.
Yes, sir. Unit reporting.
Construction complete. Unit lost.
Sir. Unit ready.
Also, I'm not sure why they build an engineer. I don't think I've ever seen them try to capture one of my buildings, and none of their buildings were damaged, so maybe they wanted to repair the bridge, I'm not sure.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Building captured. Building captured.
So yeah, sending in engineers is a pretty quick way to get rid of enemy production buildings like the Hand of Nod, if you only have like low-tech units. Of course, the obvious downside is that it's one-time use only, so normally it's not that big of a deal, but given the circumstances, it's kinda useful.
Structure sold.
And let's get rid of that attack cycle.
Infantry reporting. Moving out. Awaiting orders. Unit ready. Sir?
Right, I was thinking about taking out these power plants, but they don't actually serve a purpose. Because, as you will see later on, we don't actually have to destroy all of these buildings. Well, one thing that is really nice about Nod missions is that you don't get these hunt down all the remaining enemy units type of mission objectives. So unlike the GDI campaign, like if you look at this mission, our objective for this is to capture the Pyramid of Nod, and as soon as we capture it, we are done with the mission. It doesn't matter if we didn't take out a single enemy building along the way. If the enemy could have its entire base still fully functional, and it wouldn't matter. We would have won just for capturing the pyramid. Compare that to the GDI campaign, where we had to capture Vega's pyramid in one mission. And we captured the pyramid, and then we still had to spend like 20 minutes hunting down SAM sites that were strewn all over the map. And it was so annoying, and this is really the reason why the Nod campaign is just so much better than the GDI one. Because it actually has sensible mission objectives. Yeah, that truck, I think, is part of some kind of scripted event, but I don't know what. Like, I think he ferries some crates back and forth, but I wasn't able to find out. All I remember is from like playing this way back years ago, that it had some function. So, anyway, new unit for this mission, the Tic Tank. We saw a lot of Tic Tanks throughout this campaign and the GDI campaign. It's, well, it's pretty much Nod's equivalent to the Titan, except in one-on-one combat it's weaker, it's just generally worse, it doesn't have as much firepower, it doesn't have as much health, it doesn't have as much range, so one-on-one against the Titan they will pretty much always lose, but they make up for it, as you will see a bit later on in the game.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Also, the game is nice enough to give us these subterranean APCs, which we can't build yet, and we won't be able to build them for a while. Here we found the main enemy base, but laser turrets are no longer an issue for us, since we now have Tic Tanks, which, of course, even having range lower than the Titans, will still outrange laser turret. So, however, since we attacked the enemy base, technically they are now alerted to our presence and they will start building troops to attack us.
Unit ready.
So, as I was saying about the subterranean APC, the way it works is a lot like an air unit, except that when you click on a specific spot, they bury underground, and unlike an air unit, they can't be attacked. The only way to actually force it to surface is to hit it with an EMP cannon. Anyway, as you can see here, the Tic Tank is able to dig itself into the ground and essentially become a turret. What this does is it gives the tank more range, more firepower, more armor, and it actually gives it different armor class, the same as buildings, which is well, not that important, but it helps. So once it digs in and becomes a turret, it's of course stationary, but it will also be vastly superior to, say, a Titan. And that is actually a bit of a theme with Nod units in this game. Basically, in one-on-one combat they will be inferior to GDI units, but they will have like gimmicks or tactical applications that make up for it, so it's more about using your units correctly than just steamrolling your way through with a bunch of Titans and disc throwers.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Sir. Sir. Unit reporting. Sir, ready.
Unit lost.
Also, somehow a Tic Tank ended up all the way up there. I don't know how that happened. Hell, I didn't even notice it until watching the video just now. Like in the game, I never saw that. The pathfinding AI in this game is really weird. Which, I mean, considering it's from it's like a 10-year-old game or something, it's not that surprising, but still.
Orders received, sir. You got it. Unit reporting on my way.
Base under attack.
Taking heavy fire, sir.
sending attacks against us now. Not that big of a deal, but just something to be aware of. And like I said before, once we get our engineer in this Nod pyramid, we instantly win the mission. It'll play with a little cutscene. It's really buggy. What's supposed to happen is these rocket guys come out and shoot down the harpy, but a lot of the time it'll bug out and either the rocket guys don't show up at all, or it's like this.